Okay, give me a second. I want to make sure that I'm doing a bunch of technology stuff, man. Like sometimes my lady be making fun of me like I'm like a grandpa. Oh snap, I think it's working. Make sure that- Okay. I think we in it, y'all. Forgive me for these. Oh snap, I think it's working. Okay, okay. I think we're ready. This is me doing a bunch of I'm doing extra today. I'm being extra. But I want to make sure this yeah. Okay, we here. All right. Yeah, thank you for this. So welcome to the full moon in Capricorn. Man, I'm stoked, I tell you. I am so amped. All right, so when I look at this, we doing this. I'm gonna let y'all know up front on the Capricorn full moon, ending on literally July 10th. Okay, you're gonna have a 52% discount. So 3 persons max. This is my flash sale retrograde. And today we're looking to do this a little different. We're looking to bring on the presentation. Uranus and Gemini is here. We're talking full moon and Capricorn though, and the polarities of mastering light masculines, as well as the destruction with the feminine, how they work together to make something super duper beautiful. So I'm going to have some guests also join in with me a little bit later. So stay tuned and look forward to that. This is full scale, mad exciting. Okay, um, on so many levels. So actually, what I needed to do, I need to might need to see where the comments are coming on this. Okay, so when I look at the Capricorn full moon, I'm gonna get rid of some of the boom booms. Okay, I can see the comments now. All right. So now I can actually see anybody that's commenting. I needed to check. Forgive me again on these tech things, man. All right. So I can see, but just to make sure, can somebody comment? I need to make sure before I get crazy into it and I forget everything else. I got 3 screens up and this is too much for me to be honest, but we're gonna work on it. So when I look at it, right, this full moon in Capricorn is a lot of it is about maturity. A lot of people are going to be facing these toxic revelations, okay, with people and toxic revelations in the public, with your public persona, with your identity, in your workspace, okay, just who you are every time you step outside the house, it's separate from your rising sign, okay, but the image you project out there and the way in which people project it back to you, the stuff that when people be giving you side looks, you just had these lips, you'd be like, mm. You'd be like, man, I tell you, if woo boy, if I didn't, and it's these things that, if I look at some of my comments, I've been getting a lot of people getting aggravated, a lot of people getting aggravated, and what you're gonna realize is a little bit of this is out of time and place, okay? Because again, remember, Capricorn is one who can rule time manipulation, and so as a part of that, it deals with karmic timelines. You'll find irritations. You'll find anger that is out of place, out of time, more particularly. Okay. Um, and with that being said, this happened at 18 degrees, 50 minutes in Capricorn, aligning with the lunar mansion of Purva Ashadha. And I'm gonna help you understand what that means. This full moon is about maturity, it's about responsibility. Okay. It has that layer of discipline, but it's also about the value that you have for each and all of your exchanges. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you I see the comment. You're alive and I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you. One of our members pulling up Divine Rights. Okay. This is going to be a really critical message. Like I said, I'm doing a lot with all this stuff on screen, but it's because I got stuff to show y'all. Okay. I got stuff to show y'all. We're going to talk. And I got some of my members from the Shaman Sanctuary. Okay. All the shamans that's out here. They're going to come in here and they're going to share some stories with us today. It's going to be very powerful. So we have this moon. It's the chart. Okay. First things first, let's take a look at Capricorn, okay? 18 degrees. This is the degree that we all know from the degree point theory, okay? The malefic degree where bad things happen. All right. Now the positive side is at 49 minutes. Okay, let me get my tool. The positive side is at 49 minutes, which means that it's really bringing us to 19 degrees. All right. However, even though it's bringing us there, right, we're still here. We're still here, right? We're gonna have to deal with that. So I do have a PDF document where on my website, I think it's like $14, and you can get all these degrees and discover those and what that means. Any of these degrees. And it's going to link us, okay? Even better, it'll link us, let me get a different color, to the major arcana. So any of those, if you know tarot very, very well, but maybe you don't understand degrees, that's what this will bridge. And it'll also give you many spells. It'll give you meditations, okay? It'll give you invocations. A lot of magic is involved in there. And I'm not talking about like what you say is what comes true. I'm talking about active witchcraft, okay? Active shamanism, okay? Oracles in action, right? Sorcery magic, invocations of angels. It's going to be deep. So y'all can check that out on the website. I think, don't quote me, I do think it's like $14. Okay, so let's look at what's happening with this moon. So like any moon, okay, Capricorn, we're always going to go to the other side. Can I make this a little bit bigger or smaller? I can make it bigger. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's always going to be on the opposite of the sun. And so what I talked to one of my boys today who's in our membership. Okay, one of our boys in our paid membership. $32 a month it exists. You can get it in there. And he was saying, that he has a lot of Cancer energy. He's like, yo, I don't know what it is, but people be coming at my neck. They be coming at my throat with this Cancer energy. And the thing is, it's because it's what happens behind the scenes. Okay? So it's the emotions that many people really don't understand. They can't comprehend. And this is going to bring us today's talk into a lot of the masculine and the feminine. Okay? The masculine and the feminine, which we're going to talk about down here. So let's take a moment and look at it. Okay? Let's look at the dark feminine specific, and let's see what's happening here. Okay? What happens a lot of times when Cancer is in the opposite side of Capricorn? All right, we could do this from the dark feminine of Capricorn and Cancer. A lot of Capricorn will have just overt manipulation, right? It's just out there, it's in your face. You know what's happening, but you know what? What Capricorn does is power moves where, even though you know it's manipulating, you can't do anything. This would be the boss who is in charge of your salary. And they know that you just had a leak in your roof at your home. So they know you need that overtime pay and you need their grace in order to maintain payment. So Capricorn is this type of manipulation. Hey, what's up, Scott? I see you, baby. I see you number 2 on the list, Scott. What's good, Scott? I got to type that out. What's good, Scott? See you number 2 on the list. That's dope. It's good to see you. I like it. I like it. Everybody keep commenting. All right. And so this is Capricorn's form of manipulation. Now, Cancer also manipulates, yes, right? But it's often more hidden. And that's what a lot of us are dealing with on this full moon coming up right now, right? Cancer is one more likely to use seduction, even through weakness, okay? Cancer is the one that says some stuff like, poor me. So we have to understand the light is shining shadow on where we decided to play victim, aka poor me, right? I think victim should even be on this list somewhere. But where we decide to play victim and say poor me, but we seduce people to give us something to take care of us in ways we refuse to take care of ourselves. Okay? This is the critical piece. And ways we refuse to take care of ourselves and essentially want our parent to take care of that thing for us. So this looks like when you're in school, the parent who comes to school and try to fight your battles for you, either with the teachers or even with another student who's bullying you, picking on you. But what happens when the teacher or your mom or your dad leaves? You got, 180 days left of school with them, with that same kid. And so that kid felt stood up. They felt insecure. They felt, you know, the parent tried to throw all their power and their grief and their sadness for how you're treating their child on that kid, bullying them. Guess what? When the parent leaves, you're gonna get bullied for the rest of your life. So it doesn't work. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of this full moon is showing us what's not working, either as a form of manipulation, as a form of seduction. Okay. Now let's go back up and let's look at. Hold up. Bop, bop. Let's go back up. Let's look at the chart on this Cap full moon, and let's see some of our supporting energies. So we have this here. It's going to touch both of these. Okay. We have what? A 3-degree orb on that side, 5-degree orb on that side, 3 and 5-degree orbs on both sides. So they're very, very close, right? And that's between Mars and Virgo. And now who else is supporting? We have, okay, so these are our main players, right? We're looking on screen. These are our main players. And when you look at this, what's critical is we have the North Node and the South Node bringing us power, okay? Bringing us strength, bringing us clarity. But how is it doing it? So in order to share that, what I'm going to talk to y'all about right now is one of the Sabian symbols. Somebody type Sabian symbols in the chat for me, please, just so that I know to timestamp Sabian symbols. I'm going to try to see if whoever's in the chat, I'm going to keep asking this. If you're in the chat, just type Sabian symbols now, and I know how to timestamp this quicker. Help your boy out become more efficient, because it takes a lot of work to be doing this on 3 screens for me to put this stuff up. All right. So the Sabian symbol, it goes to 19 degrees, not 18, because remember, again, we're at 49 minutes. Anytime you go over 30 degrees or 30 minutes, it moves up most times. The Sabian symbol of this full moon is a child of about 5 with a huge shopping bag. A child of about 5 with a huge shopping bag. And so it's like, what the heck does that even mean? Okay? What does that mean? And here's what it is. It's really us learning how to carry the weight and the responsibility of basically becoming an adult or governing ourselves as a child in early childhood. This is the kid who usually is the firstborn, who's forced to try to help the parents, especially when they have kids younger, whether that's making their sandwich, making sure they get home from school, making sure they don't get bullied, making sure they brush their teeth because mom's at work at night. Thank you. I see you, Divine Rights. Number 1 up on screen. Hey, what's going on, girl? I see you. And so that's what that's looking like, right? Now, it's also about balancing, not just carrying the weight of responsibility, balancing dependency, right? Balancing dependency. I'm wondering, does that? Okay, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go down real quick. So it's about balancing dependency. So, yeah, right here, which is where in childhood, early childhood, things like overdependence starts to happen, right? This is where a lot of us are dealing with our projections. We are struggling with healthy boundaries. But a lot of that with this Sabian symbol, this full moon is showing that we're struggling with healthy boundaries because we were forced to be overly dependent, whether that was you on your big brother, whether that was you on your aunt, depend on your aunt while your mom was working, your dad was working, whether it was you on your grandma. That's a very common one. Okay, grandma just like, oh, you know what? Like, let me take care of it. Here, take $5, go to the store, buy yourself some candy. I know you couldn't buy that candy for yourself, but go ahead and go do it. So now you people are out here struggling. I'm not trying to be like personal. I'm not trying to be like you people. But what happens is these toxic relationships with people. Okay, as we look at this, it looks like somebody feeling like dependent, like they leaned on their grandma's shoulder when they were in trouble, and they always got the money. Oh, grandma, I need money for rent. Like I just need $30. So instead of us, finding ways to be independent, which Capricorn wants, mature, responsible, so that you don't put yourself in debt, what happens? You look for a grandma, maybe in a girlfriend, maybe in a husband. You maybe look for a husband who can then take care of those bills. And that's what happens with these Capricorn full moon. It's shining light right? But this trine, what's nice about this trine coming from Capricorn over to the South Node is trying to clean it up. So notice I didn't put anything, there's no ascendant, descendant, there's no houses here. But it's like maybe this is the sixth house. You're trying to clean up your mental space within your social emotional environment within your physical body. Okay? Maybe this is the third house, and it's like you're trying to become more responsible when it comes to managing your documents and your paperwork when it comes to either legal fees, or let's say you're running a business, or we got Sabian, it's not Sabian symbols. We got Divine Rights in the chat where she runs trust. She helps people build trust. And guess what it takes to have a trust? A lawyer and a lot of communication back and forth and a lot of documents that you're going to need to sign in order to create the anonymity so that you can keep your private assets, your income, the taxes, so that you can hide things from Capricornian governmental agencies. And so where we are malfunctioning, this 18th degree, on things that require us to be an adult, okay, and to stop responding like the child who had to carry too much weight, who rebels and rages via tantrums, where that doesn't really get you anywhere with the government. They don't care. So this trine is actually giving us a lot of energy to organize. And so what I've been seeing for myself, for example, with this organized energy of Virgo, I've been cleaning like a madman. I've been cleaning stuff in my house that I didn't even know could get cleaned, right? It was like me having to move the fridge and clean and sweep and mop under the fridge. You know what I mean? Like you don't move your fridge very often, right? Move the stove. You don't move your stove very often. So Virgo is here to help us get rid of energetically in our environment through things like feng shui, which is something I'm interested in doing in our membership. So if you're interested in something like feng shui, just type feng shui in the chat. Let me know if that's something very interesting and entertaining for you. And so what that means is what you'll find relationships, you'll find people where you may walk into their home and you feel like, yo, your house is mad dirty, yo. Why is your house so dirty? And it's like, what are you really saying in projection? Are you saying that person's house is dirty, right? Or are you potentially able to step into some of the light energies of the masculine, let's just say, and let's find an adjective, and instead, you're there in their home, find a way to be present fully. Take on the light masculine and find a way to be present fully on this full moon in Capricorn, right? Because instead of judging them, criticizing them, you may find a reflection in your life where your internal environment, or maybe your physical outside is not dirty, but your internal dirt is reflecting. And that can be in your finances, right? That could be in your love life, okay? This Capricorn full moon is shining a lot of light on a lot of things. And by us staying in the light masculine in a situation like if we want to judge somebody's home, by us staying grounded, okay, rooted, unshakable, what happens? We get to actually witness where we can mature. Now, when I go deeper into the Sabian symbol, right, here's what we're looking at. When I go deeper into the Sabian symbol, I wonder if there's a clear all button. That would be great. Is there a clear everything? Clear everything. It's not even letting me clear everything. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. What was that? How did I even do that? All right. See, I'm going back and I'm having these tech difficulties again. I ain't trying to insert. Oh, no. Oh, delete that. What is going on? Okay. I might not be able to delete these back again, but whatever. We're gonna step out of all this chaos for a moment. Hold on. Okay. So I want to make a brief reminder again, okay, ladies and gents. If y'all here, y'all watching this, that we got the flash sale happening. And it's only going to be for 3 people max, okay? You literally look at that 129 right now. It's going to be my retrograde sale. What you want to type on my website is retro. That's the discount code. And when you type retro, you're going to get $140 off, just like that. And it's only going to last, remember, until July 10th. So just keep that in mind as I finish the Sabian symbol message of what I was saying. Okay. So when I look at this Sabian symbol again, I bring it back. I'm mad I can't delete this feng shui on this paper. That seems so silly. It seems very silly that they wouldn't let me delete that. But whatever. All right. It's about bartering, trading, commerce, okay, and learning how to be mature in the ways in which you exchange values. So I'll give an example, right? Like, I see feng shui. Thank you. I give an example. Okay. I had somebody come to me recently. They were offering me something that's going to actually help me in the long run, something I want to be involved with, like in about a year and a half, 2 years from now. But this Sabian symbol, this Capricorn Full Moon, is actually about understanding how to be mature and realize, yo, look, right now, I realistically can't do this for about a year and a half. Okay. I had somebody come and reach out to me about a retreat, right? This is my favorite thing to do in the world. This is my life mission. And what did they say? They said, yo, okay, boom. We went through the steps, right? And what did they say? They said, yo, realistically, I'm going to see you next June 2026. 2026, not this year, right? So this is Capricorn. In our exchanges, be willing to be honest. How do I get rid of this, yo? Let me get rid of this thing, yo. They like, yo, like they even let me change the word, but I can't get rid of it. This is so silly. It's bothering the Virgo in me, man. My Virgo is like, cancel this, get it off the screen. It won't go away. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna let my OCDs go for a moment. So learn how to be mature in exchange and be like, yo, look, like, here's what it is right now. I see you in June. I want to do this retreat, but I'm gonna be realistic. Be mature. So stepping into that big boss energy. And how do you step into your authority? And that's just a question for you, rhetorical or not. How do you step into your authority? But the key is, okay, not just how you step into your authority. Dang, I can't erase nothing left that's on screen right now. Not just how you step into your authority, but without dominating, okay? Without being overly controlling, without having to make people feel your power. Key thing is force, right? This is shadow on the masculine. Without forcing people to feel your power. That's the key. No. Don't do that to me. That's the key on this full moon. Okay? How do you hold people accountable in love? And how do you do that, okay, without playing the avoidance game, running away? Without becoming very, very critical and taking on a superiority complex, without literally condemning them, saying, if you don't do it my way, it's the highway. Okay? This new version of us in 2025 without spiritual bypassing. Okay? Avoiding vulnerability. But, ... right? So this is the question the full moon and Capricorn wants us to answer. It's a lesson for business, for relationships, and for your self-worth. Now let's move on to part 2. Somebody in the chat for part 2, we're moving on from the Sabian symbols, and we're going to invite people to come live on us with this today. Yes, that's what I want to explore. My address is 9909. I said the collective energy is so strong, man. Move this year, gang. Okay, so part 2, somebody write the story of the river. If you can write that in the chat, the story of the river, that would help me out a lot. The story of the river. Thank you. I appreciate you. The story of the river. Write that in the chat. It's the next section. So this is a river. This is a stand. Okay. I mean, not a stand. This is a river. This is represented by a fan. This is a goddess. This constellation in the sky is in a constellation called Purva. Dang, I wish I can get rid of that. Ashadha. I'm skipping the word. Purva Ashadha. Okay. So Purva Ashadha is represented by a deity of water, a water deity. Okay. And the water is here to purify us. So now we talk about who? Our destiny, our North Node destiny. This is what we're going back for. We're getting purified. How are we doing it? We're doing it through spirit work, right? We're doing it through spirit work. And so with that, I encourage you to go ahead again and check out our membership. We're meeting we just met yesterday. Every first and third Sunday, we do the spirit work. We focused on doing the healing on our kidneys. And the kidneys representing Libra, okay? And everything that we struggle with when it comes to weak will, okay? Not having the willpower to stand up for yourself, to say, I can't come to the retreat now, I gotta come in June. To say, I wanna work with you on this service, but I need a year and a half of this. To say, baby boy, I love you, but I need you to let me sleep. Because I love you so much, I let you sleep. And I would like for the same respect the other way around. Please do your best. I say this with all the kindness in my heart. To let me sleep a full night without blasting the TV loud. Can you put some headphones in? Can you watch it on your iPad? Turn the brightness down, please. I would appreciate it. I got to wake up early. So it's like this Purva Ashadha, thank you, story of the river, is really the story of the river, right? It's we're women in a village while the men were at work, at war, hunting. Women in the village, they couldn't just stay passive, okay? Purva Ashadha is a very fiery energy. They're trying to, that fire was weak. Still ain't it. Let's get red. Watch when I get red. It's gonna come out now. So it's the story of this is a fiery nakshatra, but it's fire within the women. They cleaned the laundry in the river. They became blacksmiths. They were making the weapons for the people going to war. They held council meetings. They were the oracles. They were the shamans at the time holding a council meetings, advising everybody. Okay? They were trading services and assets with the other women. You could do laundry? Great. Can you do laundry for these 5 to 10 women over here and these 5 to 10 husbands at war? And then I will make you 15 swords. Great, you're making me 15 swords? Okay, but we need meals for 30 people. I can cook 30 people. I have a farm with tomatoes, potatoes, cheese, lamb, greens, tomatoes, potatoes, lamb. I got all that. I can cook for y'all, but I need some weapons. Okay, you make linen. I need some pants. We need clothes to stay warm in the winter for the war. So this river, this story of the river, these are represented by the women. Let's look at some of the light feminine. How would this show up with the light feminine? This is nurturance. Okay? This is being supportive and giving. Right? This is surrendering as well. Because you're not just surrendering to trust yourself, you're surrendering to trust others. This is huge. This is the full moon in Capricorn. So it's about balanced structure within your masculine. And the women were some of the first to do this back in the day before they were ostracized for it. Okay? It's about balanced structure with your roles and staying fluid within the feminine qualities at the same time. So it's saying, you can't just be this and you're light. You must be both. Anyone that has positive light masculines, but this is not working, men or women, wouldn't matter. All of this is not working. Okay? Anybody who feels they have a great light feminine, they're very receptive, but they're struggling with this light, then this ain't working and this ain't working. And that's how it goes. This is the polarity. This is the oneness, right? So this story of the river is about asking us to bring this mature Capricorn structure to our deep feminine emotional wisdom, to our flow, bringing in our empathy, bringing in our magnetism, okay? The thing is, when you look at it, they didn't abandon the feminine energy, they trained the masculine. And what happens? These two circles represents the infinity. They didn't the women at the time, they didn't abandon their feminine, right? It's the same thing here. They trained their masculine. And guess what? This is a very ancient and old time story that I'm telling y'all. But we're now officially doing the same thing I'm saying right now today. Now, the irony is today, the one that needs the most work is this, between men and women. Whoa, man. So between both, they both need it. 29-degree Cancer, conjunct the ascendant, gang. So it's a powerful metaphor right now for any healer, for any modern shaman, for any entrepreneur to understand you cannot abandon the feminine energy while you work, okay? Because this is what ends up happening. This is where a lot of us are at. Unfortunately, a lot of us are in this dark masculine, okay? We're becoming very aggressive. I see this with women a lot. Very aggressive. You see men becoming awkwardly in their dark feminine, right? We start abusing our power. We become very avoidant and destructive. Okay. So, when you look at masculine energy and its light, you're talking protection, presence, integrity. Feminine and its light, receptivity, empathy, creativity. Okay. And so, if you in the chat, if you can help your boy out and just say personal story time. Say personal story time. Say personal story time. I would appreciate that. And so here's what's happening now. Okay. So me and my partner, we had a moment where toxicity decided to raise up, right? And it's like, okay, masculine projections for a lot of people lately, which is a lot of what's happening right here. Wow, look at it, it's still circled. And I can't even delete it. It won't even let me delete that thing right now. That's crazy. So when we talk about the revelations happening within toxicity, this can happen at work, your coworkers, your love story, with your brother, with your sister. The reality is anybody that when you step outside your bedroom that you got to go meet, especially when you step outside your house, that's real Capricorn. Projection is going to be happening. So I'm saying you can't hide. Unless you're going to refuse to talk to anybody, you can't hide. And guess what? It's still going to find a way to attack you. Okay? So when I looked at it, I noticed the other day I was absorbing. No, I wasn't actually. I noticed a habit, an old habit, where I wanted to absorb some guilt. Whatever the guilt was, not even really necessary to pick it out. I just noticed. I was like, But Capricorn, masculine, positive masculine is about being present, right? It's presence. So I noticed something was off. But in the moment I decided to pause, I shut up, I stayed very quiet. I went internal for a moment. I went what? I went internal, aka to my feminine, so that I can do what? become very receptive, and become a great and intuitive listener for myself, to myself. And so when this happened, I was able to do what? That's not what I want. I was able to set a clear boundary. This is my brick wall, right? But here's the thing. Even though I may say brick wall, I was able to set it softly, kindly. My voice, because I went internal first, before responding, before taking action. Action is masculine here. Before taking action, I went internal. I calmed. You hear my voice. You hear the change, the shift in my voice, right? It was able to bring me back. I set the boundary, but I didn't demand respect. Instead, I invited it, right? This is the key. I chose to stay grounded back in the masculine, right? I didn't attack. I didn't manipulate, right? This is the key. I didn't retreat into avoidance. This is the key. Like we saw, the dark of the masculine was avoidance. I didn't retreat into avoidance. Okay? And these are the light masculine qualities that we got to look at. Clarity, boundaries, protection, but without domination. Key word, without domination. So when I move on, right? You look at it, even in business. I've had clientele where I'm looking at it, it's like there's been subtle manipulations. Keyword is subtle. I'm not even positive they were also knowing what it was about or what they were trying to do. But it's just about being present. About being present, realizing what was subtle. Okay? And when we come into this simplicity, we're able to start choosing, making sure that I and my own energies don't overgive. This is very critical. This is the Capricorn Full Moon when you talk about the masculine and the feminine and action, right? Being able to recognize in past timelines, time, Capricorn, right? Where did I overgive? Where was my overgiving rooted in this fear of seeming inadequate? This is key. So it all starts with us. I had one of my members tell me in a channel message, it's you versus you. And this is exactly what I mean. Capricorn has taken us back on this full moon in time. And it was about me recognizing when did I feel inadequate. And so because of that, I would overgive. Well, that's not going to cut it in this day and age for none of us, right? And so it's about learning this Capricorn full moon to choose your energy instead, clearly, honestly, fairly, and understand that it's not about in these moments becoming angry or becoming manipulative, right? That's how you, as the shamanic healer, can navigate the projections, which is right here you see on screen. Whether toxic or not doesn't even matter. But you can navigate those projections with method, with grace, with compassion. And this is really, really key. So I'm going to timestamp this part. I'm going to say integration and healing. Forgive my typing because I'm just getting in it, right? When I say integration and healing, okay, when you look at this Capricorn full moon, and actually for those of y'all that are watching, I'm getting ready to invite y'all in the Zoom. I might even do that right now so that y'all can even be prepared. Hold on. Bang, bang. Okay, I'm bringing the people in. Bang. Okay. So feel free if y'all want to hop in the back end. Okay. And because we're getting ready, this is coming to the close message, right? So now I remind you again, type in retro. Okay. You'll catch this sale. 52% off. That's ridiculous. But it was a call. Retro is the discount code on my website. So if you check the pinned chat, you'll see it. You can hit the link. It'll bring you straight there. Otherwise, you want to do your spirit work, you can look to join our Shamans Roundtable. Okay, that's our membership. And we meet up again every first and third of each month. And that'll be a pleasure to have y'all. So now when we look at the healing, we look at the integration. It's about learning after you hold those boundaries, the integration piece, right? After you hold those boundaries, I'll tell you for myself, all right, I'll tell you a personal story. After I held those boundaries, I now had time, I had energy, right? Energy that just surged through my body. And what did I do? I had time to plant my garden. And man, did I find out gardening is hard work. I was tired. I had a little cramping in my back. I was like, yo, it's time to stretch, man. I had to stretch before I went to bed. That thing took me like 4 hours, I think. I'm sitting here gardening while my partner was resting, getting her feminine energy on, right? Through rest and recovery. And I'm sitting here gardening, which was another form of active rest for me because it wasn't work. I wasn't on a tablet. It wasn't on a computer. I wasn't on a cell phone. I wasn't doing work. I wasn't pushing some new next thing, right? And that is a lot of what Mars, right here in Virgo, wants us to do, trining this full moon in Capricorn. It wants us to take action on nurturing ourselves in various keyword ways, which one day for you, that may be taking a nap. That may be taking all day in bed and watching Netflix. And we have to respect that, right? When that comes up for us, we got to respect that. For another of you, that may be gardening like it was for me. That's what it was for me. And what I realized through this gardening, it was about planting new life, right? I recently came into so many plants and pots, and it took me hours. It was about planting new life. When planting new life equated to healing my own nervous system, not overexerting, not blowing my adrenal glands to Mars, in outer space and beyond. Okay, giving them a deeper time and energy to rest and recuperate. Not thinking about anything rather than just feeling my way through gardening, literally planting soil and etc. etc. How much light does this need? Okay, the rain is coming. Being in my feminine, flowing with the weather, even. Okay, nourishing my temple. This is key with this. And this isn't just about self-care, it's literally an energetic feng shui. Like I said, how you take care of your home, your physical home, which again is a lot of this Virgo, right? But through practices that allow you to just dissociate. That's this sextile coming from the full moon in Capricorn, July 10th. Okay, that's Pisces. That was me, my own little world, my own little imagination about which plant I'm going to put into which pot. And I had all the choices. And guess what? That takes energy, even. What's up, tacos? It's good to see you up in here. Good to see you up in here. I'm late, but I made it. Definitely enjoying the replay. Okay, dope. It's good to see. So, again, like I said, I spent 4 hours doing this, planting my garden. It took me forever, but I loved it. I felt like a little kid. And like I said, this full moon of Capricorn is bringing us into when were we a little kid who had too many responsibilities, right? We were carrying the weight of all our brothers and sisters, especially if you felt like maybe you were the oldest. You had to be the most responsible. You had to do a little bit extra. You didn't get as many cool clothes. You didn't get as many things purchased for you because maybe your parents didn't have the money at the time. And then we learned to adopt a mindset of scarcity, a mindset of becoming overly efficient, which is what Capricorn is about. It's about efficiency. It wants to get the most out of something with the least amount of resources. It's not a very abundant energy. It's a very restrictive energy as a part of Saturn. So all my Aquarians out there, okay, Aqua, all my Capricorns out there, these are the people who learn how to work with the least amount of things and doing the most amount of stuff, right? And like I said, I'm getting ready to invite the members. Oh yeah, I see you in the chat. Divine Rights, I see you in the chat. I sent the Zoom link. If y'all want to join the Zoom link, you want to come on this call, we give some personal stories. You want to give some personal stories about masculine, feminine, and light, right? Oh yeah, you were talking about it yesterday in the membership. Shout out to you. Feel free to join that Zoom link. It should be right there. I see it up in there. Okay. And so, you know, when we talk about the integration, this feng shui, this energetic self-care is really a portal for abundance. It's a portal for status. Okay. So to come in. So I urge you to make sure your front door is clear. Make sure your windows are clear in space. Your front door is clear. Okay. So that you can invite things in, warming, welcoming energies, monies, love is very specific to you. Okay. Um, Now, Capricorn is saying, build the foundation. Okay. Invest your time and your energy into things that last. That's what it is. That's what it means to step back in time. Heal your land. What's the symbolism of your land? Hey, what's up, Hannah? Good to see you. Most things. Most amount of things with the least amount of stuff. Woo! Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what it is, yo. Hannah is the primate. Hannah, you see Hannah's Elsewhere's channel, her astrology network. She is the prime example. Like, she be pumping content, but she's also a projector. Limited energy, you get the most amount of things with the least amount of effort. That's what it's about. And so Capricorn saying, heal your land, heal your body, and heal your business. Okay. Especially from everything that was malfunctioning at this 18th degree of the full moon in Capricorn. We have trining energy happening. We have sextile energy happening. There's a lot of good happening to this. So you will see and have revelations of toxic people and projections that are trying to show up in your life. But if you can recognize that most projections are somehow internally put outwards, anything you're judging and coming out on, it's literally some internal part of us that we have denied. Because again, like I said, and like Hannah even just said, right? Let me get a different color. Capricorn is very restrictive with that Saturnian energy. Okay. It grew up. I grew up on a Saturn line, for example. It grew up not knowing, okay, what abundance is. It grew up understanding how to operate like the impoverished, how to operate literally like a bum that lives on the street who does not have a lot of opportunities to mess up any further. Saturn energy is rock bottom type energy. It represents the dark skinned people in the world. Look at dark skinned people in the world. They always have opportunities in the governmental, wide scale type environments and structures. They are judged socially. There's a classism that comes. You look like you're part of the low class. This is Saturn. And no matter what your shade of skin is, when you have a lot of Saturn placements, when you have deep Aquarius and Capricorn placements, you grow up with that wired into your system, learning how to be restrictive and make the most out of absolutely nothing. Don't look at this as a bad thing on this full moon in Capricorn. Understand this is your superpower. Because guess what? Anyone who has never had that time to learn how to be restrictive and efficient so that they can become the most effective when they gain or even have all these followers or all this money or all this abundance, guess what? They don't know how to manage it. They don't have the restriction and the discipline and the clarity of how to use their assets in a way that is tremendously useful. And when I say assets, understand always the biggest assets we all have is time. So I give the example again with how did I use my time when I denied a subtle manipulation and instead it got me more time. I used it to nurture for 4 hours my garden. It would have probably took me the same amount of time, 4 hours, to do what I might have done in the past, aka Saturn, back in time, okay? What I might have done in the past from feelings of feeling inadequate, the fear of inadequacy, aka by over giving to something else other than what I needed most, which was to nurture my temple, my body, my home, my garden, and allow my mind to rest, allow my heart to cool down, allow my liver and hot blooded emotions to cool down. Without that, What do I have? What can I give? This is what they say when it says, let your cup flow over. That's what it is. So I remind you again, take a look at this, right? This is ending on the literal full moon, July 10th. We have $129, as you see on screen. It's literally $140 discount. That is 52%. This is bananas. It is only on astrology readings. It is not on astrocartography because it takes too much work to do that. I'm not discounting that. But any natal reading, solar return, we can even do a progressed. I don't think that's too complex. And so now I move on to the shamanic method. All right. Oh, snap. I see something in the chat. What's up? Now I move on to the shamanic method. This is me time stamping. Okay, meanwhile, I just feel tired and a little post in my sauce, but I'm going to honor it all. Be tired, be post in the sauce, just drip in the sauce. And I saw your message and I thank you for it. I listened to it today. It was powerful for me. Ooh, definitely how I feel. Capricorn and Saturn line. Yo, I didn't realize that you're a Capricorn on the Saturn line. I knew you lived on the Saturn line. Okay. So as a shaman, understand, right, that we do not reject dark energy. This is not what we're here to do. We don't reject dark energy, okay? Instead, we seek to name it, clarify it, understand it, okay? And literally transform it, transmute that energy. So guess what? Saturn is what? Capricorn is what? Dark energy. In Ayurveda, it is considered tamas. And tamas is heavy, okay? It's literally sleepy. Sleepy, heavy, dense energy. The same way you feel after you overeat on mac and cheese and everything at Thanksgiving. When you stuffed and your stomach roll back, your eyes roll back, your head roll back, and you just like you're trying to breathe. You just trying to breathe. You ever eat so much you had to unbutton your buckles? You had to take your buttons up and done. You had to unbutton things so you can have more space. That's what it means to be heavy, dense, Capricornian when you put the moon in Capricorn. And so it's about taking that denseness and transforming it. Name that dark energy. Take that denseness, transform it. And that's why being Saturnian, restrictive and effective and efficient, it's never bad. It's never been bad. That's why Saturn is considered the planet of the occult. This is literally the most occult planet. This is what we're talking. This is what the Masons are using. The Masons, between their systems and government and taxes, okay, that's what they're using. That denseness, that heaviness of the collective, of all their interpersonal relationships, and they're using it in a toxic way. And they're getting you to buy these crappy narratives. They're getting you to buy the stupid stories, to buy a car brand new, to gain U.S. college debt. That's that denseness. That's them using their magic, remember, in this dark masculine way, right? They are putting you in debt so much that you are being dominated. You feel dominated. You are absolutely under their control, right? You are forced, it's Capricornian, into emotional suppression. That's Capricorn, to being cold, to just shut down all the way. You're forced into literally just being busy to be busy. Why? Because you bought into the capitalistic mindset. So that's what this 18th degree means again, as we show that chart on Capricorn. Yeah, and however, this trine to these Virgos in this right here, oh man, we cleaning house. All right? We cleaning house. But I got about 20 minutes, just so you know. All right. So when we look at the dark masculine, when I look at the dark masculine in me, this was timelines for me overworking. And I'm not going to say that I don't still overwork sometimes in this day and age, but I can tell you this, I'm much softer, I'm much gentler in this day and age. I'm much more aware when I do get into that streak, and I slow it down. I started learning, excuse me. Thank you. I started learning to take naps at 10 a.m. My partner taught me this, and I brag about this all the time. I'm a 10 a.m. napper now. I love waking up. I'll be up at 6 in the morning and I'll be taking my first nap at 10 a.m. and I'll be charged. Life is good. Right? Life is good. Okay, so the black cube energy, yeah. Uh-huh. Dripping in the sauce. So when I look at that, the masculine me, I've been in avoidant states. I've set harsh boundaries at times. I've felt this energy, this toxic energy that I didn't understand, these toxic projections at time. And guess what? I turned fire red mad. I was barking back. I'm yelling. I'm becoming dominant to the point where I'm getting people to sit down by my voice alone. Try me. Try me. Watch what happened to your neck. That's not it though. That's the dark masculine. Dominating people like that. I'm happy that I'm not this way anymore. But I also, like I said, through time, Capricorn, this full moon in Capricorn is saying again, I can let this go in peace. Right? That's the Virgo piece right here. I'm choosing peace as I move forward. I'm choosing the way Pisces would deal with it. And they just let that thing fall away. No need to be harsh. Pisces is not about being harsh. Our past life, we were harsh. We were harsh in the past. We don't need to be harsh now. And if I look at the dark feminine me within this same story, it was over independent. It was over dependence, excuse me. Over dependence. Not independence, over dependence. It was emotional flooding. I was huge at this. I don't know how to draw a wave. I'm just gonna draw water. I used to flood people. This is my water. I used to flood people emotionally. And even through that emotional flood, that was my way of manipulating. So we look at it, okay? I used to love living in this mesh energy. This Capricorn Full Moon says, look, don't lose yourself in other people. Because that's the problem for Scorpios, okay? When we manipulate, we become enmeshed. When you control using your emotions, you now are dependent on losing yourself into other people. Okay? You now make yourself susceptible to jealousy. You start to become possessive. When you manipulate, you start sacrificing yourself. When you manipulate, you fall into guilt. You start doing things because you know you're doing dirt. Even if the person didn't catch you, you know you did dirty. You know you're doing wrong. And so because you know you're doing wrong, what do? You feel guilty. So it's like you were getting ready, even if you were emotionally about to cheat on somebody. You didn't physically cheat on them, but you emotionally cheated on them, right? And you almost got caught. But maybe you didn't get caught, but you almost got caught. And it made you think again. So what do? Now you move in guilt. So now you start being nice. Now you want to wash the dishes. Now you want to, you want to cook them food in bed. Now you want to act faithful. But why? Because you feel guilty. So that's what starts to happen. You may not have done the worst of the worst by the standards or the values, okay, of the other person, but you knew what you valued, even if they didn't. Or you knew what they valued, especially for Scorpios. Scorpios be understanding people's desires. You knew what they valued, and you went against it. But maybe they don't know. They don't know. So now you feel guilty. Okay? Now you flood them emotionally, even if it's flooding them emotionally with love. Right? Now you're like, oh my God, I love you, baby girl. And they look over at you like, you ain't never act like this. Why are you acting like this now? And if that was the response, then you automatically in a toxic relationship anyways. So that's that. For sure, no doubt. Okay. So now's the time. I don't even know. Is anybody in the Zoom? If you want to join the Zoom, you can do that. If you're watching this live, you want to join the Zoom, feel free, hit it in. I'm gonna catch you on the back end. Okay, and we could talk about this and understand, you know, it's important for us to hold our positive and our light field values with grace. I need to actually hold on. Let me come back. Let me see. Is there people in here or not? I can't see nothing. Okay, I see Miss Hanks in here. All right, what's up, Miss Hanks? Feel free if you want to come on. If you want to just unmute your mic. If you want to unmute your video, green light. We on it. Hey, what's going on? Let's get it.
Resonating. I'm sitting here resonating on what you're saying and where you're coming from.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You have a situation you want to bring up, and then maybe we can cover these dark and these light feminine energies and paint a clear picture that may actually be able to help people.
Just know that I am one of those people that can have both energies. I can have a dark energy and I can have a light energy. It just depends on the person that I'm dealing with.
Okay, let's pick a real life situation. What's something that has bothered you recently?
So say this morning I woke up with this energy that I have an adopted daughter and she really wants to graduate from Miami, right? Instead of graduating from Georgia, right? But I had with this energy in my spirit, like she just needs to go graduate from Miami so that I wouldn't have to go to Georgia to deal with the people there in Georgia that she's living in their residence. So I said, you know what, maybe if she graduates from Georgia, maybe I won't go to the graduation because I don't want to deal with those people, you know? Now she called me this morning and was like, Auntie, I want to graduate from Miami. I don't want to graduate from Georgia. And I was saying to myself, yeah, because I don't want to go to Georgia to go deal with those people, right? But then, like, I don't know, it's just so toxic. It's toxic dealing with her. It's toxic if she deals with me, but then it's not as toxic as her dealing with the individual who she's with in Georgia. Like I kind of have a balance for her, right? I kind of like, I would ask her like, what is it that you want to do? How you feel, right? And on the other hand, they would be like, oh, you need to do what as I say because I'm an adult and you know, you need to listen to the head of household. So my experience with that as a kid was I went to a school and I didn't like the school. So my mother told me, like, you know, it's your decision. If you don't like the school, you don't have to go to the school, right? So my niece doesn't like the school because she got robbed in Georgia twice, and she got robbed by her classmates, and then she got robbed from the people who she worked with in Georgia. So now she don't want to go back to Georgia, but she only got robbed because she has this lifestyle of being flashy, of wearing name brand things. And I'm trying to teach her, like, you know, you cannot wear name brand things and be flashy. You have to just be low key, right? So now it's just like, I'm confused because I'm like, I have to deal with these people in Georgia and I don't want to deal with them because it's two different individuals. And one of them is extremely dark and the other one is the mother. And she kind of like has a balance, but I don't want to deal with the mother nor the daughter because both of them, they just, I don't know. It's too much energy with both of them. And it's one of me. But I am the guardian of the child who gave them the right to have the child. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's very toxic. And my niece, now she understands, like, Auntie, you had my best interest. I should have just stayed with you. Right? So now I'm like, right, I understand that. You should just stay with me and listen to me because I always had your best interest at heart.
So let's pick them out. We're gonna pick some from the light and the dark. I so far heard one for me. Forget this. I just can't erase it right now. So leave that alone. So let's pick them out. Okay. So far, what I heard one was not wanting to deal with a certain responsibility or commitment on whose behalf. I'm not positive right now. All right. And then from the light, we can also pick them out. So if you take the same situation, let's look on the screen. Let's start with the light. What in your light or your masculine or feminine is happening in this situation?
You say my masculine in the light?
Yeah, look, you can see this screen. You can see this on the screen right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so out of this story, the left category is masculine, the right category is feminine, right? Out of this story you just told, where do you feel your line, you're falling? And I want to circle it on screen.
I think I fall in caring, supportive, and forgiving.
Where feminine or masculine? Start with one category so I can look. Feminine. Okay, so you're where you said say it
Yeah.
again. I can't hear you. I think we talked at the same time. Tell me again, feminine category. I think maybe the reception is not okay.
Yeah, it's kind of going in and out. I picked the feminine,
Yep.
the feminine category.
Yeah.
And
Give me the I want to circle an actual thing. Okay, I'm in the feminine. What else?
the second option.
Creativity,
Well, the first one. The first
nurturance. Okay, what else?
one. Adapting instead of owning.
Okay, what else? Let's stop right there for now. All right. So, in this situation, how do you see yourself? How did you adapt rather than taking ownership?
I feel like I want to adapt to whatever the child feel like she needs or wants for her happiness, not for my own.
Okay. So what I'm hearing right now is right like you're in the process of adapting. Meaning as of right now, there's a little difficulty when it comes to adapting and flowing with the situation.
Yeah, when it comes to her and others, like, but when it comes to her, like I could adapt to her, want to go back home to Miami. Oh.
So let's move to this side because what I almost heard was right here, potentially within the relationship enmeshment.
And so, well, that's I'm losing myself and others.
Yeah, within her choice, within her decision. And what you're asking to invite was the flow so that you can adapt.
Okay.
Right? And so this is what I was saying before. This is one of the things, this is one of the ways that projections work, right? Sometimes it's easier to think it's the other person. But when we take a deeper look, especially when we now have these up on screen and we clarify it, that's what projection is. Sometimes it looks like the person is projecting onto me, but like I said, most projections they start internal.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks like it's the other person because that's what we need sometimes in order to see our role. So I think this is really the key. Like you said what you want. You want to flow and you want to be supportive and you want to give her the best possible chance. So with this full moon in Capricorn, we talk about feminine. In order for these things to happen, we got to invite this masculine, right? And so it takes us under this feminine ability to be very open and listen more intuitively. And when we do that, this is what we need our masculine for. Our masculine in this situation will help us. to stay present in the moment. Hey, what's up? I see more people up in here. Feel free. Undo your mics and your, what's that called? Your video, and let's get in it, y'all.
Get some light. Let me put some light on up in here.
I ain't mad at you. Sometimes a little dark room is exactly what you need. But hopefully that made some sense, Miss Hanks.
Eventually it will. I don't get it right now, but it eventually it'll resonate.
Yeah, like, so this is the step where, you know, from here, what we do is this is when we take the breath. This is where the breath work that we practice is important. Because what it allows us to do is take the emotion out, right? It allows us to take the emotion out of it, because let's be real, you love your niece. Like, I think nobody's going to ever doubt that. You love your niece. So no matter what, you want the best for her, right? But when we're so involved sometimes, especially under that, especially under this enmeshment energy, right? When we find ourselves losing ourselves within others, whether it's your daughter and her, excuse me, I need some water. Ooh, my throat chakra is talking. Okay. So when we lose ourselves in others, especially somebody we love, right? Like, a little bit of this was happening, looking to not necessarily take advantage of her, but to create a simpler situation for yourself. And I think what's important is to have grace with the fact that it's not bad that you want to create a simple existence for yourself, right? Like, you're currently in Texas and you'd have to go to Georgia for whatever reasons. That's a lot of work. That's extra energy. That's tough, right? So, you know, just because we see these and it's considered the dark feminine, understand dark has never meant bad. It's like we said in shamanism, it's just something to transform. It's never meant bad. But, and I say that because there's nothing wrong with wanting to create an advantage for yourself while still trying to find the happy middle ground for both of y'all. But when we can look at this stuff honestly through taking the breath, slowing it down, now we can see the situation more objectively. And we can see, okay, wait, I thought that this was about the other people, but I'm realizing that I actually want what you said, that I actually want to flow. I want to be actually more adaptable in this situation. I actually don't want to be trying to own the situation as if it's my own or my decision, because I'm not the one going to college at the end of the day. She has to deal with that. And so anything that she goes to college, she's enjoying it or not. You don't want, when you own what the choice was, this is how we create resentment. So understand, resentment never comes first. It comes after an action. Oh yeah, I think you had you wanted to say something? Or Sharaka, whoever it is.
You ain't had to be all up in the energetic business like that, because I'm sitting here with a situation, I guess you could say. I have a good friend that that we've done some YouTube and Facebook collaborations, just fun. She's a mom, and this past weekend we had a moment where she basically asked me for my logo and my active YouTube link, and I was going to share it just all willy-nilly, but then I had a moment of pause, and I honored that pause, and I was like, hold up, I've been snaked before in business. I'm not saying this. I'm talking to myself. Like, I'm not saying she's going to snake me, but to me, the lesson is not in the person snaking you. The lesson is in honoring your own values. And I know in the past, I have moved in a way very enmeshed with people. So I literally hit her back and I said, hey, it's the holiday weekend. can we just schedule something where I can come see you? We can talk about it. Because I also didn't know what I was sending my information for. So she sent me this long text message, and to me, it came across defensive. And I'm like, what are you getting defensive about? So I called her and I let her know that, I just wanted to be able to come and talk to you because I didn't want to just send over my logo and my links and stuff. And she was very like, again, it felt very defensive. And she was like, well, that proves you don't listen to me. I've been talking to you about this. I'm doing a network. So I was like, okay, the network for like your own personal YouTube you're building for other women, great. And I said, well, I still feel like I need more information. Like, are there contracts? Because my brain is percolating, like it's giving me a lot of information on what's going on. And for me, being very, like, I guess you could say psychic, for lack of a better word, I'm getting this influx of information in real time, and I'm trying to maneuver the influx of information, my emotions, this person coming at me very hot and heavy on the phone, and I'm doing my best to maneuver all of this. And it's like, in the end, I felt disrespected because when I told her, well, maybe I should see the contracts and stuff, she was like, contracts? When you signed up for Facebook, you didn't have no contracts. You ain't looking no. And the truth is, I did. I come from a cult situation, and a cult friend hit me up years and years ago about Facebook and was like, you should join this. And I was very afraid and apprehensive. And I did research Mark Zuckerberg. I did go through the whole thing. But this is a new friend who doesn't know me in this capacity, apparently. And I just felt like.
So let's pause it here. Let's look at what we got going on, right? Let's bring this back to the Capricorn full moon, right? So Capricorn, like I said, is a very mature sign. It's very responsible. It had to be the older child of all the siblings growing up with the shopping bag, learning how to do trade.
That's literally me. I'm the oldest of like 16 kids.
Learning how to do the trade within the 16 relations, right? Okay, look, like we kids, but I'm about to give you my lollipop, and maybe you can just not tell mom that I did this thing, whatever it is, right? Like these negotiations happen as a kid. Here's what I'm seeing happen within with the connection with the person you had. I don't know the relationship, so I'm just gonna say the connection. You decided, okay, to stay rooted. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a clap clap. This is a snap snap on the back. You decided that you required clarity on the direction that your channel was going to be taken. You decided to use this clarity to cut through the confusion. Okay? You even decided to go meet her in person so that you can hold space and understand more deeply, okay, the direction that she was looking to go. This was wise, right? This was safe and reliable. Not only did you shield yourself, but you shielded her. Because by not doing that, what you didn't allow yourself to get into, okay, you didn't allow yourself to get into losing yourself in that relationship with her. That's what you didn't allow. What you also didn't allow, okay, was emotional
If I may say this same friend has recently told me that they feel like they often have to chase me. And I'm a 6'3" on the roof right now in my human design. Like, I'm not in no one's face, really. I'm with myself, and I don't know how to change that.
Yeah, but that's
nor do I want to.
Yeah, I don't know what the background of that situation is, but as I hear that, that's just weird. Like,
because she's married with a child, and I get it, but I feel like things flow, not be caged. And then there's also the understanding in relationship of where the other person may be at.
I think the real key when you look at the full moon, right? We're in the full moon. It's about the revelations, right? When it comes to toxic people and projections. And for me in this very, very moment, there's a very simple revelation. Okay. I just picked out about 6 light masculines with you as a female that you decided to use strategically, humbly, wise, that protected you and her. And the reason why I said also protected her is step one, when I heard the situation, there's no reason why she shouldn't be doing this on her own YouTube. Like, there's no way in the world that that should be happening. Think about it, right? I invited the 4 of y'all, or I don't know how many's on the other side of the call. I can't see y'all right now, but I invited the 4 of y'all on the call to my YouTube. However, what did I say up front before I did? Let's go into it. Let's go into it. I said very clearly, look, get rooted. Understand your story before you come in. I said, I'm not bringing y'all on live to have a sob story.
Correct.
I said that, right? So I set the container. Right? Like, through the impulses, I'm on the live. I invited y'all to the live. Through mastering the impulses, I did this with myself by creating a script. Right? We're talking Capricorn on the full moon. That's Leo. We're talking Capricorn on the full moon. What needed to happen? This is time. I set this for 11:30. Around 11:09, I looked at it. I saw myself rushing via presence, being fully in the moment. I saw myself rushing to make it happen, and I still needed to eat. I still needed to shave. I still needed to download this PDF that I didn't do, and that was at 11:09. And I was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna rush to be eating my food. It's not happening. I don't care what projection is out there or excitement, because projections are not bad inherently. It could just be flat out excitement that this is about to happen." And so I moved it to 12:30. I think I still didn't get on here till 12:40. So that's literally what, an hour and 10 minutes later from what I said I was going to try to do. But I had to take a moment to be present, honest. So again, with that, I'm saying all this to say, look, I still did that and I invited y'all, but I said, look, it's going to be about 30 to 40 minutes before y'all come in so I can get the message out. This was going to be a finale.
And I came right in at 45 minutes. I had just woken up and the notification was there and I was like, let me jump in. That's interesting.
Right. So that's that. Listen, this was a very, very interesting live. Shiraka, I'm sorry. I actually have to get ready to go. But I can say this. If you have something on a short frame that you feel like you want to share, then feel free. We can do that. But I did just get a message. My time is up. My kitchen, my whole everything's about to get. We're having a weird holiday that's called, like, I forget. I didn't make it up. Tweenmas, a Christmas and Halloween holiday, like the mid.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but I'm about at my whole world. I already made commitments, masculine. Okay, I already made commitments that I was gonna be present for this next step. So if you got something that you feel like you want to share, Sharaka, on the 5-minute kind of energy, feel free. Otherwise, I'm gonna end this live transmission.
Okay. No, I'll just I'll let you go ahead and end it. But I do want to thank you for continuing to put out this energy, this good energy, and keep us on track.
No doubt. You know, I seen a lot of people going through some stuff right now, and I leave it at some stuff. And I was like, you know what? Like, I felt like this is the best I could do. I knew I had the energy for it, to just give us all the opportunity to, you know, have a platform for expression and realize, one, we're not alone. Two, that Capricorn is a complex energy. It's not an easy energy to deal with. But like we saw with all of this, it's trining everything. These are very positive times that Capricorn is having as for relief. Very big grow up development moments. So, you know, I plan on probably doing this in the future again. I wish it wasn't so hard to put these things up on screen, but you know, I'll get the technology one day. One day I'll catch up to all of this stuff. But thank you. I appreciate y'all for coming, for joining in.
Gratitude and wholeness, bro.
Absolutely. And then for everybody else watching this live, I remind y'all, we have this flash sale happening. It is literally going to be until the end of July. Why can't I make this small? It's going to be to July 10th. So that's about 2 more days, literally the day of the full moon in Capricorn. Like I said, you're getting about $140 off. I don't think I've ever had this price as low in like 3 years plus. So take advantage. All right, while it's there. That said, thank y'all all for joining. I'm coming back to y'all, and we will tap in soon. Love.